Kids are in bed?
Kids are in bed.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 54 of The Kids Are in Bed. I'm Tim Severson, and this is Jenny Severson. Jenny, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm good. Thanks.
Sorry. I'm sorry about that. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good. Great. Good. I'm so glad to hear.
I'm good. It's we had warm weather today.
Praise ye, Lord of hosts.
That Puxatawny filled. It's full of shit, man.
Yeah. It was 50 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. The melt was on. I mean, the yard is we can see grass now already today. So
outstanding.
We are back. We have had it really cold over the last week.
It has been frigid.
And so I somehow decided my new pastime when it was below zero was to just drive around our town to the spots of the town that I don't usually go. And I've been taking nature pictures. I took a few of a river on a really cold day. I went out. I was driving across the Mississippi River, and you know how on cold mornings,
the mighty
Mississippi, and on cold mornings, the river steams, and the colder it is outside, the more steam. And so, because it was so cold, there was a ton of steam.
Not familiar with that.
Really? Oh, yeah. And so I turned around and went to where I've walked a few times at a park and ran out there to take pictures of the river and the fog coming off the river.
Adorable.
I didn't have a hat or gloves, so I couldn't stay out there long. I wish I could have stayed longer, but my fingers stopped working properly.
Yeah.
And
I imagine.
And then the other day I was driving the other way. I've got this pianist that I really like. His name.
Sorry. just thought of something.
What was it?
I don't want to lose track of your thing.
Oh.
So you keep going, but remind me.
No.
It's pianist.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It'll come back.
Okay. His name's Yuruma. And the other day I was driving and I was listening to a song of his as I was driving. We have this nature reserve over by our house, and I was driving along and there's no cars. There's nobody out. It was like 9:30 in the morning and it was perfectly clear. And it was just like, I was like, I'm just really taking this into this soundtrack. And then I turned around and was coming back and I'm like, this is like a completely different perspective, because when I was driving to it, I was driving into the sun. And when I was driving back, now I'm like, sun's at my back. This is all different. I'm like, well, so I restarted the same piano so that I could give it the same experience. I didn't want to give the second perspective any sort of difference, so I could judge which was more pretty.
Gee golly. Whoa. That was quite the morning.
Yeah. But anyways, I was driving I wasn't even looking for it, but I was on like a little county road. It's going like 50 miles an hour, and I was like, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a flash of white, and then I saw a whole bunch of sticks, and I'm like, that's the eagle's nest, because we have eagles around, and I didn't know where their nest was. So I went, and there was an eagle. I got a picture of an eagle sitting in his nest. And then the next day I was driving over it's in Dayton, and it's the Mississippi coming along behind Dayton.
That Mississippi really winds its way.
Sure does. And I just happened to be looking down the street, and an eagle was like sideways flying over the river, and I'm like, God. And so I could tell it was going to land, so I turned and went down, and there were two of them perched in a tree. And
wow,
I was like, I gotta get a picture of this. I don't know why, but I'm like, I gotta get a picture of this. And so I got out of my car, and it was, I don't know, like -13, and I went in shoes and jeans into somebody's yard to try to get a picture of these eagles. And I was laughing at how stupid I was the entire time. But there were so many branches that I couldn't get them both. And I finally figured out the perspective. And as I made my move, one flew away. So I only got a picture of one.
Ugh.
So I know. Such is life as a nature photographer. It's not easy for us out there in the elements.
Driving around ill-prepared, shoes, no gloves, no hat, looking for birds in negative 13-degree weather. Like, what was your day?
I wasn't looking for birds. No, the whole point is like I notice that when it's really cold, like I'm not going on a walk. Like it's just not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not, because you can't even enjoy.
It's not even safe.
You can't even enjoy it. It's. I mean, I get that I could layer up and I could tolerate it, but that's not really the point of the walk for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like just like to kind of clear. And I found that in the cold weather, mid morning, there's nobody out. So like I drive like super slow and just kind of take it all in, and it's very calming, and I just listen to music, and if I see things to take pictures of that strike my fancy, it just so happened that I've been seeing eagles like crazy, and so I just once you start, you know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
You start seeing one thing over and over again, you're like, there's eagles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll go away soon, but yeah,
you're quite adorable.
So that's how I've been entertaining myself for like an hour. I've been going and getting a Starbucks and then driving around town to the spots I never see, just making sure everything's in ship shape.
Good.
Everything's good. Everything's good around Rogers, Minnesota.
Glad to hear it. Yeah. Thanks for doing that. It's really important.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it is. It is important. We decided our strategy as the weather warmed up yesterday was to not go outside and take advantage of the warm weather outside.
Well, so it was gorgeous out.
Yes.
Which this had been on my radar for a minute.
Yeah.
Because it was in the extended forecast.
Yeah.
But you know what I say? Never trust a 10-day.
You do say that.
Never.
Never
so
trust a 10-day.
I did not believe that this day was actually coming. I was not prepared. I thought for sure it was all just a farce.
Yes.
But it turned out to be gorgeous. And within about 3 minutes of us talking about how we should spend the warm, beautiful winter day outside, we immediately pivoted to staying indoors.
Yeah.
At the Mall of America, because you said it's such a nice day out, everyone's going to want to be outside. So we should go inside where there will be no people.
Pull the old Uno Reverso on everybody. They'll never see it coming. Well, it's still pretty busy in there, but it was still, even it makes it even nicer in there because the sun was out. So it was warm in there. And it does kind of feel like you're outside. I
love the Mall of America.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many people that give it a bad rep. I have a wonderful time every time I'm there.
It's just about getting into it. That's what people don't like. There's not a clean introduction where you feel like, oh, that was easy. I just parked my car and in we go. It's always like you're driving around and then, I don't know. It's just not an easy way. I think that's what people don't like. I agree. Especially days like that. That's what I said as we walked in, is like, I love a day at the mall where there's no agenda.
Yeah.
Not a single thing. We didn't have anything to do but use up the all-day pass at Nickelodeon Universe that the kids got from Grandma for Christmas. Otherwise, we had nothing. Then you just stop and walk into places and look around. And we have the best kids in the world to do that with. They didn't ask for, they asked for some things, but it was never a fight. You mentioned they didn't ask for a single toy.
The only thing Jude kept asking for was to do the human crane.
Oh, yeah.
He asked for that several times. He really wanted to do that. I actually feel kind of bad that I said no.
I know.
He really wanted to, but what a waste.
Yes.
You pay $20 to be extended down into a pit to grab a giant inflatable alien.
Yeah. Or SpongeBob or Hammer.
Honestly, if there was no inflatable, I probably would have said yes. I just really didn't want to pay for that inflatable.
Yeah.
But if it was just like a ride, I probably would have said yes.
Right.
Like, I'm not carrying around that giant alien all day.
It should have been giant like balls that were filled that they could open up that had like prizes for like rides, like wristbands with certain variations of points on them. So then they can just reuse those and people don't have to
Yeah, well, there's an idea.
deal with
That's how you, yes, like
giant
when we were in
inflatable.
Wisconsin Dells,
Yeah.
and we just kept on buying more and more and more chocolate bars to get
Yes.
more points.
Yes.
We should really call the mall about this.
I've been trying. They won't take my calls anymore.
Well, so what my eyes popped open and I think I said, "Oh,"
Yeah.
earlier was about pianist.
Yes.
It made me, obviously, everyone was thinking it that it sounds like penis.
Yeah. I
And
wasn't.
you were too. So I thought that this game we played when we were kids was a total like millennial thing. This game called the penis game.
Yeah.
We've told Jude about it a couple of times.
Yes. Yeah. I've told him about how me and my friends in high school used to go to Best Buy and we would play the penis contest on the demonstration karaoke machines.
Oh my god.
And we'd each take a microphone and we'd start on like one and it was just penis. And then we just slowly we got kicked out a number of times.
So if you're not familiar, the game is you just have to say penis louder than the person before you.
It's back and forth. And everybody louder each time until somebody
Yeah.
can't do it anymore.
I've definitely done it in the cafeteria.
Yep.
Probably at like state dance tournament.
Yeah.
Probably. But I assumed it was some dumb game that our generation played.
Yeah.
But we had told Jude about it and I don't know why we did that. That was a mistake. But anyways, when we're waiting in line to go down SpongeBob's SquarePants roller coaster, this group of like 6
Yes.
tween girls were playing the penis game
Yes.
in line, and I thought I was gonna die.
Well,
I was like, "Oh my god, people still play that?"
The best part about it was we started laughing like a couple of 9-year-olds, and Jude goes, "What's so funny? What's so funny?" And we're like, "Oh, what they were yelling, the penis thing." And he's like, "What do you mean?" We're like, "Oh, they were just yelling penis." He's like, "Actually?"
Yeah, he didn't even hear
Yeah,
it.
he didn't hear it. He's like, "Oh man."
He was so disappointed that he didn't hear it.
Speaking of the SpongeBob SquarePants roller coaster,
Whew.
in the surprise move of the century, you got on the most aggressive roller coaster in the park.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's not saying much.
I
I mean, it is pretty legit.
It's a legit roller coaster.
Yeah,
it's
legit.
short, but that drop is straight down. It is intense.
Recording while you're waiting in line that's saying who shouldn't ride it, and it said something about those with weak neck or backs. And both my kids were just like, I don't think you should go on this.
They spent the whole line trying to talk you out of it. And I was like, just shut up. Stop it. Just she make her own decisions.
It did hurt my neck for sure.
Yeah.
But it was really fun.
It was.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, it's a good ride. It's good because it's quick.
So fast.
It's like 35 seconds and you're out of there. But yeah, Clementine, I was worried. I didn't know if she would be able to handle it. But she took it like a champ. She likes thrills.
They went on this one called the Shredder, I think, or some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed ride that it's not a roller coaster, but
it's like a pendulum one, right? And
but it
spun
spins
like crazy.
I mean, they were so high and not upside down, but flat.
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw the Spinner Queen.
So I was not familiar with the Spinner Queen.
Yes, you were not. I tried to get a video of her, but I just missed her and we were too far away. But she was actually on like the main roller coaster that goes throughout the park is where I saw her waiting in line with the kids. And I was trying to explain it to them. Luckily, we saw her in action and she just gets that thing going. And so I guess she's just there almost every day, and she just figured out that ride, and now she's very popular for it, and people take pictures with her, and I'm sure she's great for the park.
I
Like,
mean, it was pretty intense watching her spin on that thing.
yeah.
Was
I mean,
nauseating.
she is going spin, 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 then the whole thing spins, but she doesn't stop. Like, she doesn't slow down. There's no like, oh, I can go the other way too, and I can go slow. She just goes full tilt
The whole time.
the whole time. It is wild. Yeah, we had a great time. We were there for a long time. Jude got a pair of Giannis Antetokounmpo shoes from the Nike store that are pretty cool. I
Bright
was
purple.
yeah, purple and like neon green. Um he's got a good taste. I was saying to you last night, like, I think we've got a sneakerhead in the making. That's a pick that suggests somebody who's like, oh, I see what these shoes can mean. Like, I'm
Mhm.
taking these ones. They were the loudest ones of the bunch for
For
sure.
sure.
So
He wanted to stop in the Skeechers.
Skeechers.
I was like, what? Where?
Yeah. Yeah, he saw the bright orange pair in there he had his eyes on. Yeah. So that was fun. They
Clementine got some Skechers. Jude
yeah, Skechers and Nikes and
got some Nikes. Yeah, it was a fun day.
Mall of America. Oh, and then we don't know. Well, I'll investigate and I'll like flash up what they're for. But I think you're right. In the parking ramp at the
Okay.
mall.
Yeah, so they have these at the airport. I've been traveling a lot more, and so I've been very aware of these lights in the airport parking ramps.
I've never seen them before, and I don't think I would have noticed them if you wouldn't have pointed it out. I
They're
just would
all
have
up
thought
and
they were.
down the lane,
Mhm.
and they're red and green. And so I could not find a spot my last trip, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my god, I just have to follow the lights. Look for a green light.
Yeah.
Must mean that there's an open spot." Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Does not. There seems to be no rhyme or reason to
right.
what these lights mean.
Right. So when we were in there, we were trying to pinpoint it while there was cars. But when we left like, I don't know, 20 minutes before it closed, half hour before it closed. And there's no cars on the level that we were on. And most of the lights were green then. And they do have little sensors on both sides. I was checking them out. So it makes sense that that's what they would be for. So
Well, they don't work well.
it seems
If that's what they're for, they're failing.
I was like, I wonder if if one thing they didn't consider was that the sensors would get dusty and dirty and then they fail. So I wonder if they just all need to be cleaned. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I'll research it and we'll flash up what they are.
All right.
Here, I'll do this. It turns out they're actually for
parking. We were right all along, and they are just broken and don't do shit. I had a helium balloon in my house.
Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting. I had no idea. Thank you for researching that.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime.
And we also, speaking of flying, caught a really great window seat in the food court where you can watch the planes take off and land.
Because they have a new, fancier kind of food court.
I think it's a couple years old, but newer.
Yeah, newer. Well, yeah.
Newer, yeah.
Newer. Probably new to most people who don't go regularly, which is probably most, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I think most people don't like the Mall of America.
Yeah.
I really do. Jerks.
Yeah. But like, I was so thinking about the food that I was not even considering we needed to find a table. I would be the dope walking around with food like, oh shit. And so luckily you went and found one. You're like, it's all the way over by the window. And you made it sound like sorry about it.
Just because it was a far walk.
Yeah. But as I walked, and that's a weird room because it's so big and the perspective is strange. That window is so big. So you're walking, I'm like, oh, you can see the airport. And then I saw a plane land. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then we were right up against the window. And I would say that because we're of the opinion, or I believe we're in agreement that all of the dine-in options in the mall are kind of like,
garbage.
Yeah, it's not really
hot garbage.
Yeah, unless you have a real specific need to go to like Bubba Gump Shrimp and hit some trivia with a waiter, or
Mhm.
have your meal interrupted by a rainstorm at the Rainforest Cafe and spend $1,000 for a cheeseburger.
Mhm.
There's not much there.
Mm-mm.
This food court with that view and the dining options they had,
It's definitely the place to eat
I
for
had
sure.
a sushi burrito,
You did. You did have a sushi burrito.
which is the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. No, it's not the best thing I've ever had, but it's really good. It's just, I mean, it's literally a giant piece of sushi. It's like when they serve the Jimmy John's subs. Do they do it without bread with something?
Yeah, lettuce ones.
Is there one that they do with cucumber? Or is
Oh,
that a thing that people started to do, or like with a pickle? Kind of like that
I don't
idea.
know.
But they do it with a giant seaweed wrap with rice on it. There's a machine, I guess, that's been invented that perfectly lays out a piece of seaweed with a perfectly portioned amount of flat rice on it that they were just pulling out of a machine. And I'm like, that's crazy that exists. And then they just build it up Chipotle style.
Very cool. Do you get to pick what you want on it?
Yeah, you
Like,
can.
you pick your toppings?
They have like pre-made ones. That's what I did.
Hmm.
But you can go. So it's like same thing. It's like your base layer, and then your protein, and then like veggies and sauces and stuff.
Hmm.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Clement.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Oh,
Please.
I'm sorry.
Please.
No, please.
Please.
I insist.
Well, Clementine, I was going to say about Clementine got that morning. Jude and Clementine and I watched Yes Day
Mm-hmm.
with Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
Love that movie. It's so cute.
Yeah.
And the children love it.
Yeah, you guys watch it frequently.
We've seen it several times. I laugh, I cry, we dance, we sing. It's
amazing.
It's so fun. But there's this whole scene where the parents are being explained what a yes day is by a gym teacher / guidance counselor / coach.
You don't know our kids.
These tots have turned.
If we tried what you're proposing, it would be apocalyptic.
You should say yes to a yes day.
And we were just laughing and laughing about tots. So then when we got to the mall and I asked Clementine what she wanted to eat, it was the first thing she said.
Yeah.
Was I want tater tots, which is not something she eats.
Yeah.
Like ever.
No.
So I was like, well, you got tater tots on your mind from that movie. And she was like, whatever, that wasn't the point. But then I asked her what she wanted with her tater tots. I was like, okay, I'll find you some tater tots. What do you want with your tater tots? And she said, French fries. Like, I don't know if you know what tater tots are. You don't usually, grab 2 sides of potatoes.
Yeah. Just red hair. Just be like, I'll have all the potato dishes you can give me. Oh, God. Yeah. Jude wanted Chick-fil-A, but so does everybody else in the mall. This fascination with fried chicken between Chick-fil-A and Raising Cane's. I don't know what the world is thinking.
I was judging people so hard who were standing in that Chick-fil-A line. I was like, you need to re-examine your life.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
There's no line at any other stand in the entire food court.
I took one look at the line. I'm like, well, Jude's not getting Chick-fil-A. Like, that's just not happening.
Such a strange way to spend your time.
Yeah. Just like a half an hour standing in line for a chicken sandwich.
So peculiar. So peculiar. You are doing something wrong with your life.
We don't have one anywhere near home. I won't be able to get it. Like,
well, but we're not Chick-fil-A people. I will say there are people. Maybe we've talked about this before, but when Chick-fil-A first came to Minnesota, we were watching our food intake.
Yeah.
And we had Sunday cheat days.
Yeah.
And we would always try to go get Chick-fil-A on Sundays. I mean, it happened like a dozen times.
Yeah.
Because we could never remember. So I honestly I don't know that I've ever even had Chick-fil-A.
I have. It's good, right? It's good, but it's not. It's when you drive by and there's a couple car wait, worth it. But if you're stacked in a line waiting for a fast food chicken sandwich and then convincing yourself that it's worth it,
Yeah.
come on. Like, it's not. Go get a McChicken. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Just pretend. Just pretend. It's all the same. Don't do it to yourself. Sitting in a line.
It's a strange decision. Yeah.
Yes, very strange decision indeed. But a wonderful day. Again, another day we had to add to our notes because Jude did not want to leave the basement and his Fortnite to go out into the world and have fun, and we had to kind of convince him.
Yeah, we have a list
Yes.
of all the times that he doesn't want to do something and then has a great time.
It's getting quite long.
It's getting very long.
It's
we
almost...
actually read it in
Yeah,
line
yeah, we were.
for a ride at the Mall of America because he was having the best time. Let's just pull out this list.
So happy. Wore his brand new shoes out of the store. And yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. Yeah, I don't know. I think the hate on Mall of America, it really is misplaced.
I agree.
Give it another shot.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Yeah, or don't. Or not. Yeah. Park somewhere on the light rail and then just take the light rail in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you park close enough, don't pay.
Or if you figure out the red and green lights, let us know what they are.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if the research comes up blank, let us know. We are now 3 movies away from getting all the Oscars checked off.
We got 1 week
Yeah.
to watch 3 movies. Got to get
Watch
working on that.
Well, we know we've got The Brutalist. I have to watch The Substance on my own, which I
Yeah.
can do because you're traveling.
I'm
So
not going to watch that one.
So I will watch that one on my own. And then because I did have this thought, since you're going to be on an airplane, but maybe not a ride long enough. Sometimes when you're traveling, you have access to movies still in theaters in your hotel room.
Oh.
And if you were able to come across such a thing, then I could just jump out and go see that on my own because that's the only one that's going to be a problem.
Oh, you could go see it at the theater.
Yeah, theater.
Oh, yeah. The theater.
The theater.
I'll let you know when I find out.
A Complete Unknown is the one
'Cause
we are
that's
talking
the one
about.
I want to see the most.
I know, me too.
Of all of them.
I know.
And can't stream it. What?
I know.
Ah, so annoying.
I think how much work do you think it is to change the spelling of your name?
Like legally?
Yeah.
0. I mean, you have to go to the office.
I suppose I don't have to legally do it. So
You
I'm
have-
going to start
you have to
spelling
go to the office.
spelling to the office. Gotta go to the office.
You got to go down to that office there.
Gotta go
That's
to
it,
the
though.
office.
You just got to go fill out some
Talk
paperwork.
to the administrator down in the office.
Bring your identification.
I want to start spelling my first name, my Timothy, the same way as.
Oh,
Timothy.
you're not French.
More than you.
Barely.
How much are you?
0.
16%.
What was that noise? How'd you do that?
16%.
16?
No, wait.
No.
Yeah.
You 16% French. You are misremembering.
No, I swear. Actually, it might be more.
No.
Yeah. Seriously, it's like the French German is like pretty high, much higher than yours. That's for sure.
Well, mine's 0.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's like that. Yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. Make sure you bring all the proper paperwork.
Huge Swedish, and then the next highest is like a tie between English and like German, French, and then the last like 18% or so is Irish. So
Interesting.
So I can change it to a French
Sure.
Sure. Name if I please. I don't want to. It sounds like a lot of work. And I don't even remember. He has an accent over something too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to hold down my E.
Yeah,
when I
that
have
seems
to
like
type
a
it.
lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah. I'll just write in parentheses after it. Pronounced like Timothy Chalamet's Timothy. That seems easier.
I don't think the lines are usually that long.
Yeah, that's true. That is a lot. Figure something out. We saw Nickel Boys, which we've determined we can't really discuss the plot because we don't want to spoil it, and it's a story that you just don't really want to talk a ton about. 2 friends It's about two friends.
Yeah, I think you could say that it's it's about friendship
Friendship.
in unspeakable conditions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Crow South.
Yeah.
But what we can talk about is what makes the movie special visually is that it's shot from a first person perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Nana.
Which is or for me it was, I don't dislike it, but it was a huge adjustment
Mm-hmm.
to watching a film for me.
Yeah, it took a minute.
And I think it's probably a little bit for me like the video game feel of it. Like my brain was like, this is a video game, but it's real.
Sure.
This is weird perspective. Because it's just, and I think maybe it's just not usually seeing kind of that head on perspective to the actor as they're speaking.
Yeah.
But I thought all of the performances were really good, and
It was really good.
And there were shots in it that were also very, very beautiful. And I said to you, I'm like, I know that there is so much like message in it that I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to rewatch it and really take it in and give it a better second look. You know,
definitely requires a rewatch.
Yeah.
I think you were saying more the symbolism
Mm-hmm.
and maybe more focused on the era.
Yeah.
Things you were missing. I felt the same way almost immediately that I was going to need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because you could tell pretty early that there's something that you don't fully know and understand.
Yes.
And you don't ever, I mean, you literally don't find out until the final scene. But the whole time I was like, once I know what's going on here, I'm going to need to rewatch this.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, even about the story, not just the symbolism, but the actual story that you probably missed.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah. The way that they shift perspective and when it's done is very tricky. So you're always just on edge, and you're never really like, it's not even almost suspenseful. You're just always like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very good that way. It keeps you hooked in the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a lull in that kind of feeling. Every scene has just a touch of it. You're like, ooh, what was that?
It was so well done.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I haven't read the book.
Yeah.
But I think that lovers of the book enjoyed very much the adaptation. Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to, I'm going to have to just try a sample of it to see if I can do the book. I usually can't go back, but I feel like this is one that I could.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like one that the book probably has a lot of density that they couldn't adapt to the movie, just because of the content and it's I'm sure there's so much more to it that was written. You know, all those things that are a little more hidden in the film that are kind of explicit, so then it gets a little deeper. So yeah, very good.
Very good.
Where does it rank on the list so far?
I mean, it was top for me so far.
Really takes the top spot.
So my favorite movie has been A Real Pain,
Right,
which is not nominated.
Yes, of the nominees.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna win, but I think like for me personally, it's my favorite so far.
Interesting. Oh man, it's super good. I don't know if I can decide yet what mine is. Oh, it is good, but I think Conclave might be it for me right now. I could be persuaded on Nora, but I think it feels like Conclave for me. I do really enjoy
Your
that
favorite
movie.
or what you think's gonna win?
What I think it's what I think is going to win, and right now I think it's my favorite of the best picture. Again, I'm with you. A Real Pain is my best picture of this year, and I think forever will be. But Conclave is really well done.
Just 1 week to go. You're gonna have to nail
Yeah,
down.
yeah, man.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I think your knees are knocking.
Oh, sorry.
I think, man, I don't know. I could go a lot of directions this year. This is a good year.
Oh yeah, agree. It makes it hard to make it accurate.
Yes, I'm actually really glad. I do think I hope I want to be able to organize it so that I see Timothy Chalamet's movie that I can never remember the name
A
of.
Complete Unknown.
A Complete Unknown. Or make sure that that's last, because I'm so biased to Mr. Chalamet. I think that's a good call on my part, because I think I'm probably going to really like that, but I already really like a lot of these ahead of it. So I do feel like I will come to
Good year.
the most unbiased opinion that I can come to.
So for next episode, we're gonna do predictions, right?
I think that's what we have to do. We gotta get some stuff down, see how accurate we can be with our predictions. I think we can do pretty good this year. This year feels.
Oh, this year feels tough to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it feels real tough.
Oh, I feel like I know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
I see what's going down.
okay.
I see.
I don't know if you.
No, I'm just trying to be confident. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I was
what's
like,
gonna
I
happen.
don't know if I'm gonna trust you. If I'm being completely honest.
No, I have no idea.
Usually, I feel very confident in what the results are going to be.
Yeah,
I don't know this year.
not so much.
I don't know.
There's some seasoned actors and a lot of new faces coming in. There's some interesting competitions, I feel like, kind of across the board.
Lots of fun to be had.
Lots of people to be mad about one decision that doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
I can't remember last year, again, if we did our Oscar episode before or after. It must have been after.
No, it was before.
It was? Did we do predictions?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
We'll have to
either.
check the footage.
All right. Well, spring is sprung. Hopefully, no. Are we getting tricked?
Yes. It's going to
This
get
is
cold.
this is for spring, so we need second winter.
But it's going to be short. Very, very short.
It's probably just going to be like one of those big snowstorms that
just dumps a bunch of snow,
Yeah.
but it's not terribly cold.
right.
Yeah.
It's the worst snow possible, but it doesn't last
Yeah.
long.
It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
Okay. Should we go check on the kids?
Let's go check on the kids.
See you next week, everybody.